What's going on YouTube? Dorito here, and today I'm going to go ahead and put in the Predator 212 that's been modified with the 26-pound valve springs and also the governor deleted. We're going to go ahead and get this in and see what you guys think. The governor deletion and the 26-pound valve springs were done by GT's Hobbies in LA. Check them out. Go ahead and look them up on Google. I'll see if you guys message me. I can get you some info on it. But talk to Javier. He's a real good guy over there. They build mini bike frames. They do a lot of cool stuff, so check them out. Anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and get this motor in, shall we?
This should be great! Join us, won't you?
Let's get on it, shall we? Okay, now that we got our Predator all unboxed and everything and ready to go in, what we're going to do is we got the plate all cleaned up. Everything's ready to bolt in. I did add the oil, I did break it in, I did change the oil and put oil back in it. I did use a synthetic 10W30, I believe it was Mobile. So anyways, I set the bolts all into the engine because it's easier to do it that way. And we're going to get ready to drop it right in. So let's get on with this then. So, shall we? Okay guys, let's give you an up close of this real quick. Let's pick it up here and bring it to you. This is the engine. And as you can see the sticker right there, it's GT's Hobbies in LA, the number's on there. And call them if you guys need any stuff like that. So anyways, let's go ahead and get this on.
Coming at you here, now chock full with even more America!
Also, because the governor was removed and the throttle setup is different, I did put a longer throttle cable on here, so we actually eliminated an additional throttle cable, the original one that was in there. Let's go ahead and yank that out. This is the original one, which was a lot shorter. So we went ahead and pulled that on out. And we got a 60-inch that'll actually go all the way around to the back and then bypass like this. And we'll hook that up and show you guys in a minute. Okay, so here we go. Like I said, I had all the 4 bolts dropped in. To me, it's a little bit easier this way. To others, they may not agree with that. But it's easier for me to just set it on in and line it up that way. So we went ahead and set it on down. Now I'm bringing it over. Bam. Pretty basic. You bring it over, all the bolts drop right in. Bam, we're done with that. Okay, so now that we got the bolts all dropped in, we're missing one here. There we go. Got that one dropped in. Now that we got those in, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get our blue Loctite, of course, and your 1/2-inch ratchet and your 1/2-inch wrench. And what you're going to do is all the bolts that were put in, I did put the washers back on the top, and you're going to repeat the same process. So what you're going to do is you're going to take one of these washers. Let's get it set over here. You're going to take one of these washers. You're going to take one of these nuts. These nuts right here, not those nuts, these nuts. You're going to take those. And each one, even though they're nylon lock nuts, I prefer to go ahead and put Loctite because like Luch said, you know, you never can have enough right there. So let's go ahead and get some Loctite on these nuts, those nuts, and then we'll go ahead and bolt this up and get right back to you guys, okay? Okay, people, now I've got the bolts snugged almost all the way up. They're not completely tight, but what you want to do before you do that is you want to take your and put on back on your pulley and your belt. So you want to get your spacer that was on there previously. You want to grab your pulley, the inner part, and make sure you still have that bushing there. That's very important. Then you want to get that pulley all the way on there, just like such. And then you want to grab your belt. Now I am using the same setup right now. I didn't see any issues with it when I drove it when I first got it, so we're going to try it like that and see where it goes from here. So what you want to do is you want to get everything all the way on and set like such, and then tighten it all down. So let's go ahead and get that on and get that tightened down, then we'll go ahead and adjust the tension. I forgot to Loctite this bolt, so I pulled it back out and I'm going to Loctite it down. And you know, some people are, you know, say, oh well, don't worry about it. With me, I prefer to use the Loctite and use it liberally. I don't have a problem with it. So we'll go ahead and get this bolt back in and then get right back to you guys. Okay? Okay, now that we've tightened down the torque converter and we use Loctite on it to make sure it's snugged up, what we want to do is we want to try and align the motor and the pulley straight. Okay, I left the bolts loose enough so I could do a little bit of moving and some tinkering. And let's get everything lined up. So what you want to do is you want to try and line up one pulley to the other, so then you don't have any issues. So we slide it all the way over, slide it up, get a couple bolts loose. So let's get this this aligned and then we'll get right back to you. Okay? Guys, we got the engine snugged up, everything's lined up, everything's tightened up. The only thing we have left is to put on the throttle and then set the roll cage on, bolt it all up, bolt up the seat belts, and then fire it up. It's a little late, so I'm going to go ahead and wrench on it tomorrow morning. So see you in a second.
Geography lesson today. Hey Dorito, what's the capital of Thailand?
I don't know. What is it?
Bangkok!
All right, YouTube, we're back today. We're going to go ahead and pull off the air filter housing because it makes it a little bit easier to get the new throttle cable in, because it's going to be fished in. It's going to be fished in from the back here to connect, because we bypassed, actually when they bypassed the governor, there was one of the arms removed, so it makes it a little bit easier to run it this way. So we're going to go ahead and get the air filter housing off. That's two 10mm bolts that are right here that I actually already loosened. Two 10mm nuts. These nuts right here. I'm going to go ahead and take these off, and then we'll get the air filter housing off, and we'll get right back to you guys. Okay, now that we got the throttle cable all hooked up, we are going to have to, we got it routed, we are going to have to set it in the right place shortly, but we're going to get the air filter housing on first, which is, again, it's the two bolts sticking out. You make sure and line everything up. Your choke and your throttle also have to be lined up one and the same. Get those on in, line up the two bolts, slide it right in, and then you get your nuts. These nuts, and then you want to go ahead and what I did last time was I just used my socket with my 10mm socket with my extension, and then just went to the threads, backed them up a little bit, make sure you're good, tighten it all the way back up. Okay, once you get it tightened up, just snugged up, not all the way tight, what you want to do is you want to check and make sure your throttle is not going to get stuck anywhere. So the best way for me to do that is just reach on over here, hit this gas pedal, and take a look. Really good. Okay, so we got that done. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and get the cage back on and line everything up. So let me move the camera and we'll get right back with you. All right? Tighten these up real quick. All right. Okay, we're going to get ready and get on the frame right now, and I got the 3 bolts for the main part of the frame on this side. It's just going to be easier for me when I go to put it on. We have a longer bolt for the front part of the roll bar. We have a shorter bolt for the lower part of the roll bar, which is right here. And then we have another short bolt, which is for another lower part of the roll bar, which is right here. So we're going to go ahead and hold on to these, and then we'll grab the bar and we'll throw it right on there right now. Let's get on with it, shall we? Okay. You just want to use these bolts and hold them like this because you want to set everything on there, and it's kind of a pain in the butt, I'm thinking. So by yourself, it's not the easiest thing to do. So thanks again, Luch. So now that you got one in there, you want to go ahead and grab another one. Hopefully. Okay, now that we've got the cage bolted down, we got the throttle hooked up. We don't have the kill switch hooked up yet. We'll do that later on. I want to go ahead and get this started. So we put some gas in it, and let's give it a fire up real quick. We want to turn it to the on position. We want to put on the choke. Pull it to start. Let's cross our fingers, people. Okay. Alrighty, so it starts up. Next thing to do is let's let it warm up for a while, then we'll take it for a test drive, shall we?
Let's do that now, shall we?
Okay, so there's a test ride. I was actually impressed. I think it's kind of cool. I really am impressed with the engine, the whole buggy in general. Don't know if I'm going to get rid of it. Don't know if I'm going to keep it. I know for sure we're going to do a couple upgrades to it beforehand, no matter what. And if I do keep it, then I got a cool buggy. If I don't keep it, then somebody else gets a cool buggy and we get something else cool. I kind of want to get that 125 dirt bike, but we'll see how that goes. Anyways, I wanted to give a shout out to GT's Hobbies. They're the ones that did the 26-pound valve springs and did the governor removal and stuff. The Luch wasn't around, so I didn't have access to the proper tools, so I took it over and had them do it. They did it for a real good price, and I can't complain at all. So thanks, Javier. You guys rock over there. Now we're going to do a shout out to all our subscribers. Let's go ahead and give a shout out to WV Motard, Rasta B, Lowe's Girl, Drive Shaft Drew, X-Ray Heck, and You Dizzy 1969. Check out all their channels. Give them their support. Go ahead and give them a thumbs up. And I appreciate you guys subscribing to the channel. It's really awesome that everybody's giving us that much support. I hope you like this video too. I know there's not as much humor. The Luch isn't around, but we'll be getting on doing the upgrades on this, and then we're going to be working on the mini chopper pretty soon too. So thanks a lot, guys. Don't forget to subscribe and smash that like button. Go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know where you think I lacked in, or just basically give me a shout out. So I'll talk to you all later. You guys have a good one, and we'll catch you on the flip side. You rock.
close it. I thought it's better.
Oops, wait a minute. Hold on.
Here's my break, people. Ah!